Hello, guys. I'm Shane Davis, 20-year comic book veteran, and we're going to talk a little bit of a different pop culture thing happening today, and that is Mark Ruffalo kind of endorsing, interrupting the business of ice. Now, we all have kind of seen the video footage of the Renee girl that did kind of, I don't know, it's arguable. I get it. It's a hot topic, but other footage has basically shown she tried to run over an ICE agent. I think that's at this point, nobody can really argue that she wasn't, that she was not in fear of her life. We see her face smiling. She's interacting with the ICE agent. She's acknowledging them, that they exist, that they're giving an order, and she continues to drive her car in front of one. Now, their wife was also recording and kind of egging on the ICE agents. They were not de-escalating a situation. And look, I get that Mark Ruffalo is a leftist. I get it. For people who don't know who this guy is, he played the Hulk. You guys, he's Bruce Banner. He plays the Hulk in the Marvel movies. This is what happens when you don't re-sign Edward Norton. Now, I saw this, and I find this to be grotesque, and I wanted to talk about it because this is dangerous. This is absolutely dangerous because I do feel like with the left, they want to be retweeted by AOC or Mark Ruffalo or somebody. And what he's about to do in this clip is a very big incentive for more people to go out there and potentially lose their lives needlessly. I think Mark, my take on him is he would rather a million Karens go out there and try to hit ICE agents with cars before he's going to do it. And this is dangerous. This is leftist Hollywood trying to make everything about politics. And now, why I am talking about this, because comics, the comic industry is all about politics and radicalizing people. And we've talked about Darren Warren Johnson drawing Batman breaking the neck of ICE agents and doing is so even in the comics. This goes all the way back in comics to Gretchen recently with the Red Hood book having to get pulled back off the shelves for having cops killing themselves in Minecraft in the book. And this was a thing. And taunting and celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. So this is a thing that affects comics and media altogether.
Well, not only that, right? When you have all these celebrities basically giving you shout outs, it's like getting clout. But see, I really don't see them as being part of this whole we support the people's rights to protest and all that, unless I see them in the front lines together with all these Karens trying to defend the illegals. I just don't see Mark Ruffalo standing out there protesting with these guys, daring to stand in front of the ICE agents.
Well, he does protest. There is tons of footage of him actually in crowds, letting it be known that he stands for a movement and stuff like this. So I'm not saying he wouldn't. I just don't think he would go the extreme route of taking a car and maybe potentially turning it into a weapon against an officer of the law. And that's the problem. I think the left doesn't realize they're crossing a line that isn't peaceful protesting. If you're trying to hit somebody with your car, there is no peaceful protest. And they're trying to do it as a work around, trying to hit you with my car. I'm just blocking you in. I'm obstructing justice. And again, that is illegal. You cannot obstruct justice. You cannot go out here and choreograph roadblocks, boxing in officers of the law. You can't do that. That's not a workaround.
So, if I'm getting it right, he's willing to protest when it's safe, but he's not willing to protest when it's not safe.
Yes, but what he's doing in this clip that we're going to play is I think he's inciting more people to do weaponizing vehicles. That's my take. That's my take. I think this is a really dangerous game. I mean, maybe that's not what he's saying, but it feels like that's what he's saying.
It's usually a lot of fun, but I can't really, I got to be honest with you. I'm not feeling so great. We have a woman, Renee Good, was murdered in our streets of America today, and we got literally stormtroopers running around terrorizing. And as much as I love all this, I don't know if I can pretend like this crazy stuff isn't happening. We have a president who says the laws of the world don't apply to him, and we could rely on his morality, but he has no morality. So where does that leave us? Where does that leave the world? So I love these people. I love being here. I love you. but also can't. It's so hard to pretend anymore. This is crazy what's happening.
I have to ask you because I have family from the Twin Cities, so I understand how hard that is right now. Well, lots of people are hurting right now, and that's the problem, is that the people are hurting.
Yeah. And people can't pay their rent. This isn't making us any safer. They can't pay their rent. They can't buy food. Insurance is impossible. They can't take care of their families and health. There's no education. I mean, this is not making America better. If it was, I'd be, yeah, great, let's do it. But that's not what's happening. And we have Americans being shot, killed, a woman in her car.
So let me get this straight. He's basically telling people to risk their life for people who are here illegally, because that's who ICE is arresting, right? They're rounding up illegal immigrants, not just any immigrants, but people who are here illegally, i.e., their very presence is an act of crime. And he's saying, yeah, go risk your life for criminals. I'm sorry. Do they fancy themselves to be like some kind of modern Robin Hood? Is that what the left see themselves as?
Well, I mean, you have literally a Marvel superhero here, and there was another video where he was more active on it. But you have a Marvel superhero pointing out that maybe this person is a martyr, the government's bad, they're stormtroopers. You know, that's a nice way of calling us basically Nazis. You guys are the rebels. I mean, he's painting pictures in people's heads that they're the heroes and they're the bad guys. And this is a dangerous recipe because, like, you basically have tons of leftists that are, I mean, let's be honest, they have their safe spaces. They've been mentally conditioned in these internet bubbles and blocking people and stuff and TikTok videos. They're very easy to radicalize, right? They've been kind of groomed with certain pronouns and narratives. And when I say narratives, that these are the bad guys and we're the good guys. And he's doing it here just by saying we have stormtroopers on the street. I've heard other people compare ICE agents to like Yanzi. The reality is if you travel, I've lived in Singapore as an American. I'm allowed to be there 3 months. I have to leave. I have to refresh my passport. And I come back, I live another 3 months. Yanzi, as a Singaporean, did the same thing. She'd come to America for 3 months, leave. She can come back and live another 3 months. If you travel at all around the world, you guys have to understand most countries protect their borders. They do it. You're not allowed to go into the country and never leave. You're not allowed just to set up residence. That doesn't happen. I'm sure there's some shit world, third world country somewhere that will let you do that. But the rules of the world are every country has its system and infrastructure, and it cannot be invaded by foreigners and leached off of, because then the system will not work. That's kind of, the basic gist of it. And I don't understand why everybody thinks that we don't have some sort of immigration laws in place. They've been in place. Yanzi, for example, came to this country during the first Trump administration. We went through the process for her to come to this country.
Well, it's not even about the whole process, you see. It's like, if you even think about going to another country, the first thing you do is research the laws and figure out how to get in there properly. And I just feel like, okay, you have people who go in illegally, whether it's through the Mexican border or something, and then you want to say, okay, well, now we're going to defend their right to stay here. And I want to say to all these people who do that, okay, that's fantastic. Are you willing to take them in? Are you willing to house them and feed them and clothe them and, take care of their citizenship needs? Most of the people that people actually found and interviewed them, they would say, no, I can't do that. I can't afford it. It's like, oh, but your government can afford it, right? So it's like, okay, well, it's nice that you're willing to accept people when it's on somebody else's dime.
At this award ceremony, there was actually another take on this situation when I think the same reporter talked to Bill Maher.
All right, let's see what Bill Maher has to say then.
Sykes also wearing a Be Good pin for Renee Good, obviously, and trying to use this platform for activism. Do you feel that's effective or no?
Oh, come on. We're just here for show business today. It was a terrible thing that happened, and it shouldn't have happened. And if they didn't act like such thugs, it wouldn't have had to happen. But I don't need to wear a pin about it.
Sykes also wearing a...
So I think Bill Maher is deliberately trying to be a bit more politically correct about it. He says if they don't act like thugs about it. So he's keeping the they vague, like, if you can interpret it as the ICE agent was a thug or Renee was a thug, it's up to you.
The whole situation is what it is, but I will respect Bill Maher for basically saying this isn't here about that. We're here for awards for entertainment. There's a time and place for this shit. And I'm one of these people, like, I hate reading actors' politics, but do it on your social media. Don't do it. And that's bad enough. I'll be honest. That's bad enough. I mean, you have got to realize if you're in entertainment and people are looking at you as like a Marvel superhero, that maybe you having political stances is an abuse of power. You kind of have to respect some of these characters and their legacy, and that Hulk means something to some kid, to some old collector, to something that you should be a little less political, right? Ideally, because you want everybody who likes Hulk, no matter what their politics are, to buy Hulk. That's it, period. It's a very weird thing. And I've seen this happen all through the American comic book industry, but even the actors, obviously, it's all basically everywhere. I feel like we really are crossing a line where, like, are you asking people, are you giving shout outs now to people that sacrifice themselves to try to run over an ICE agent or interrupt the duties of an ICE agent? If more people do what Renee did, or worse, is that on Mark? Is that on Mark's shoulders? Is he going to have badges for each one of these people that he's going to wear and speak of them and announce their name when they're asked to take an award? That's dangerous. That's dangerous. And I think all of Hollywood should step back off of this. And I think everybody needs to reevaluate the immigration laws of this country, but even other countries, to realize we're not doing something really weird. What was really weird is busing people in and putting them up. What is really weird is administrations looking the other way while people came in illegally to tax our system.
Ooh, let me remind you guys, you remember the fiasco with Martha's Vineyard? They bust a bunch of illegals in, and in 48 hours, the residents complained so much that they kicked them all out. And it's like, okay, so Martha's Vineyard was allowed to protect their border from illegals being bussed in, but the general country is not allowed to do that. That was such a joke, wasn't it?
Yeah. And again, guys, I mean, we're talking as a couple who at one point I thought, do I move to Singapore? And Yanzi was like, or do I move to America? We are people who have looked into immigration, and this isn't something that, like, we would talk about just to talk about and have no knowledge of this. It's a weird subject. I get it. But you really have to say, what was the problem? Is the problem removing people, or is the problem that we let a lot of people in that broke immigration laws to begin with? If you guys will, hit like, subscribe, ring the bell for notification. If you guys would like to support us, and we do make our own comic books, they're up on 9 Lives Comics. Right now, we're getting ready to go into fulfillment on 2 books that we crowdfunded last year, starting in February. But you can catch up on all of the fun. Inglorious Rex 1 and 2 is up on our site, along with Starlight Cats, an all-ages book for kids, Little Girl, Big Adventures, Cats in Space. Please go over here, browse our site. The link is down below. Hit like, subscribe, ring the bell for notification. If you guys have any input on this, I'd like to hear it. And we'll leave you guys with a trailer for Inglorious Rex and catch you guys again with another video.